Have you ever felt like you're just an ordinary person minding your own business, when suddenly you're called to do something extraordinary? That's the story of a man named Amos. He wasn't a priest, a king, or a scholar. He was a simple shepherd from a quiet village, someone you'd probably never notice in a crowd. His life was predictable, tending to his flock, caring for sycamore fig trees. It was a humble, honest living. One day, everything changed. While Amos was out in the fields, he heard a voice. It wasn't the wind, and it wasn't another shepherd. It was the voice of God. And God had a mission for this ordinary man. He was to leave his peaceful life behind and travel to the bustling, wealthy kingdom of Israel. Now, Israel at that time was a picture of success. The cities were booming, the markets were full, and the powerful lived in luxurious homes. They built magnificent temples and held grand religious festivals. From the outside, it looked like a nation that had it all. But God saw something else. He saw the dark side of their prosperity. God sent Amos to be his messenger to pull back the curtain on the injustice hiding in plain sight. So Amos, the shepherd from the south, walked into the heart of the northern kingdom. Imagine the scene: a rugged, sun-beaten man, smelling of sheep, standing in the middle of a sophisticated city square, surrounded by people in fine clothes. He probably looked completely out of place. But when he spoke, his words were anything but ordinary. He didn't come with gentle suggestions. He came with a lion's roar. Amos declared, "The Lord will roar from Zion and thunder from Jerusalem." He started by pronouncing judgment on the nations surrounding Israel: Damascus, Gaza, Tyre, Edom, Ammon, Moab. He listed their crimes, their cruelty in war, their treachery. The people of Israel probably nodded along, thinking, yes, our enemies deserve this. But then Amos turned the spotlight directly on them. He accused them of their own sins, and his words were sharp and specific. He said they sell the righteous for silver and the needy for a pair of sandals. He described how the rich were trampling on the poor, how they would do anything for profit, even if it meant destroying someone's life. He talked about courts where justice was for sale to the highest bidder and where the poor had no voice. Amos painted a vivid picture of their hypocrisy. They would go to their temples at Bethel and Gilgal, offering sacrifices and singing songs to God. They looked so religious, so devout, but Amos delivered God's message. I despise your religious festivals. Your assemblies are a stench to me. Even though you bring me burnt offerings and grain offerings, I will not accept them. Why? Because their worship was empty. It was a performance. They would sing praises to God on one day and exploit their neighbor the next. God's message through Amos was crystal clear. Your songs are just noise to me if you don't practice justice. Your offerings mean nothing if you ignore the cries of the poor. What God truly desires is a river of justice and a never-failing stream of righteousness. As you can imagine, this did not go over well with the powerful people of Israel. The high priest at Bethel, a man named Amaziah, was furious. He told Amos, "Go, you seer, flee to the land of Judah, earn your bread there and do your prophesying there. Don't prophesy anymore at Bethel, because this is the king's sanctuary and the temple of the kingdom." Essentially, he was saying, "Go home, shepherd. Your message isn't welcome here. We don't want to hear it." But Amos stood his ground. He replied, "I was no prophet, nor a prophet's son, but I was a herdsman and a dresser of sycamore figs. But the Lord took me from following the flock, and the Lord said to me, 'Go, prophesy to my people Israel.'" Amos made it clear he wasn't doing this for money or fame. He was there because God sent him. He couldn't stay silent. Amos continued to deliver warnings of the consequences to come. He spoke of famine, drought, and military defeat. He described a day of the Lord that they eagerly awaited, thinking it would be a day of victory. But Amos warned it would be a day of darkness, not light, a day of judgment for their unrepentant hearts. The book of Amos is a powerful and sometimes uncomfortable read. It forces us to ask ourselves tough questions. Is our faith just a private, personal experience, or does it transform how we treat others? Do our actions line up with our beliefs? Do we stand up for those who are vulnerable, or do we look the other way when it's inconvenient? Amos's message reminds us that true worship isn't just about what we do in a church or temple. It's about how we live our lives every single day. But the story doesn't end in complete darkness. After all the warnings and judgments, the final verses of the book offer a glimmer of hope. Amos speaks of a future day when God will restore his people. He promises to repair its broken walls and restore its ruins. He describes a time of incredible abundance and peace. A time when the people will be replanted in their land, never again to be uprooted. This final promise shows that God's judgment is not meant to destroy, but to lead to repentance and restoration. It's a reminder that even after the harshest warnings, God's ultimate desire is to heal and rebuild. The story of Amos, the shepherd prophet, is a timeless call for justice, a warning against hypocrisy, and a beautiful promise of hope for a new beginning. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that explores these powerful messages. See you next time.